introduction to what is data warehousing. Data warehousing, as I told you all, is not the conventional database system. The conventional database system is used for day to day operations, whereas the data warehouse is used for decision making, and it's used by the high end workers in the upper management strata. It is also, as I told you all students, it contains historical data, whereas DBMS or OLTP, as it is called, with the online transaction processing. This system is basically a DBMS system, and it is what do you say, meant for day-to-day operations. It contains day-to-day transaction information. So the four features of data warehousing or a data warehouse is it is said to be subject oriented. That means it focuses on certain subjects like customer sales, accounts, and it is said to be non-volatile. That is, there is no manipulation of data. Okay, it doesn't. It has only read access. Then the third thing is it's said to be time invariant. That is, it contains the old historical data. Okay, and non-volatile also because you keep it separately. You don't use it in the day-to-day operations. It is stored separately, and it is integrated. Why it is integrated? It doesn't contain data just from a single table. It contains data from different sources like Excel sheets, DBMSs, XML files, and so on. Okay, so that's why what do you say? A data warehouse is more useful. Second, it's used to store lots of data, lots and lots of data, enormous amount of data. So, why do we need a warehouse? This is a very important question because a warehouse is used for very complex queries which cannot be handled by the DBMS. Okay, then it is needed by decision support systems which an operational DBMS cannot handle. Okay, it needs consolidation, summarization of data from different sources. Again, something which a regular DBMS cannot is not functioned or programmed to handle. And handling the inconsistencies from different data sources also have to be resolved. So this kind of thing is done in data warehousing. So we need a separate data warehouse to perform all such tasks which I just mentioned. Okay. So a data warehouse has a multi-tiered architecture. Okay. Yeah, so it has a multi-tiered architecture where you see, I'll just show the diagram. So here you see the heterogeneous data sources, which are then transformed into a format which can be understood by the data warehouse. And the information of that format is stored in a metadata. The metadata is basically, it's like a dictionary. It contains the definition, the schemas of all the tables which are there in the warehouse or a DBMS. So once data is stored in the what do you say, data warehouse, then complex queries can be performed on this. That is analysis, query, reports. All these things can be done using a data warehouse. Okay. So you all can draw this diagram. I will give you all around 6 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. Sorry, I'll give you all around 5 minutes. Kindly note down this diagram, all of you all. Kindly draw this diagram, all of you all. Have you all finished, students? Have you all finished? Students, have you all finished? Okay. When you all have finished, please drop a message, okay? When you all have finished, please drop a message. This is a lot of theory, but there are some applicated problems which are asked, which are based on the data warehouse schema. So you need to know the concept well in order to design your own schemas. Okay. Yeah. Uh, are you all finished with it? Okay, fine. Just drop a message when you all have finished, please. At least do that much. Okay. Have you finished? Okay, can I change the slide, all of you all? The next thing we have is a type of data warehouse model. So the first thing what we have is a data enterprise warehouse. Okay, we have data marts. Okay, and we also have the hybrid versions. Okay, that is, it utilizes both. So, and the virtual warehouse. So we have enterprise warehouses. Basically, enterprise warehouse means a warehouse which covers all aspects of an organization. Okay, all the subjects which are concerning an organization, that information would be stored in a warehouse. An enterprise warehouse cannot be built in a short span of time. It takes years to build a warehouse, an enterprise warehouse. So the shortest way to handle this is to build first warehouses pertaining to specific important subjects of the organization. So we call this as a data mart. It is said to be a subset of the corporate-wide data which is needed for a specific group of users. And then when you have many data marts, you can probably merge those data marts into enterprise warehouse. The That's the second one. So this is a subset of the warehouse, the enterprise warehouse. And last we have is a virtual warehouse. So practically this is not a warehouse. Instead, it is a set of views generated over an operational DBMS, and only few summary values are possible with such kind of a virtual warehouse. Okay, so is this part understood? You can just take this down. Again, I will repeat. The enterprise warehouse is nothing but it's a warehouse covering all the aspects which are needed for an organization to run. But to build such a warehouse, it takes years. So, if we want to access data easily and at a faster pace, then we can go in for data marts, which is said to be a subset of the warehouse. That means instead of creating a warehouse based on all subjects, we can create warehouse based on selective subjects and go on in this iterative manner till we have the entire enterprise warehouse. Okay, and then we have the virtual warehouse. This is basically an operational DBMS, but it's called as virtual warehouse because it's a set of views created over different operational DBMSs. Okay, so these are the given types of, and we also have a hybrid type, not mentioned, but we have a hybrid also, approach for data warehouse model. So you all can just, if you want, you can note this, or I can change the slide. Do you all want to note it down, or can I change the slide? Do you want to note it down, or can I change the slide? Okay, fine. You'll want to note it, right? So I will just give you all another 2 minutes, and then you can, just drop a message when you're like finished. Okay, have you all finished? Have you all finished? Okay. Okay, one more minute. Yeah, Rishikesh, are you done? Rishikesh, have you finished? Okay. So this is one of the recommended approaches to create. As I said, you create the data marts. Now, This is both parallel approaches which are given. One is you create a data mart, or you can create a enterprise warehouse simultaneously. These marts, they said, can merge into have a distributed data mart, and both of these can finally merge into a multi-tier data warehouse. So this is one of the approaches to creating a data warehouse. Okay, then the next thing we have is extraction of information, which has to be then what do you say uploaded into the warehouse. So what exactly goes into extraction? Now this was done over here. Okay, over here, extraction of data from heterogeneous data sources into the warehouse. So extraction of data into the warehouse consists of extraction, transforming the data, loading the data. So first step process is data extraction, getting the data from different sources. The next thing is removing the errors in the data sources, which we call as data cleaning. Third is converting it into a format which is suitable for the warehouse. Okay, and fourth is doing summarizations on the data, creating views for the data, and last is to whatever updates are done. Okay, to propagate that updates from the sources to the warehouse. Okay, so these are some of the things which are needed before you create the data warehouse. You could say it's a part of a pre-processing. So now the next thing is, once you have done that, loaded the data into the data warehouse, what does a data warehouse contain? The data warehouse is based on many dimensions data, what we call as multi-dimensional data. So this multi-dimensional data can be seen as, very popularly it is viewed as a data cube. So data cube allows us to analyze the data and perform different operations on the data cube. So a data cube, okay, what exactly goes in the data cube or the warehouse? In the warehouse, there are two important tables called as the dimension tables, which are like the tables which contain information which are needed for the fact table. Okay, so there are two tables, dimension tables and the fact table. So, what is a dimension table? Dimension table means one which is describing that aspect of the object. Okay, and fact table basically is a table which contains the primary keys of all the, um, yeah, of all the other dimension tables. Okay, so here, if you have the base cuboid, okay, that means it has all the dimensions, and the apex cuboid is the highest level of summarization. Okay, and these lattices of cuboids basically create a data cube. Okay, so this is what you need to know. You need to know what are dimensional tables and fact tables. Okay, this is important. You need to know what are dimension tables and what are fact tables. Just take down what is the data warehouse and what is dimension and fact tables. Have you all finished noting it down? Have you all finished noting it down? Only the dimension table and fact table. Yeah, have you all finished? Okay, I'll give you all one more minute. Have you all finished? Have you all finished? Lizanne, have you all finished? Rishikesh? So the next thing is an example of the lattice of cuboids. So this is the base cuboid which has all the four dimensions. As we go to the next level, two dimensions are added. Okay, as we go to the next level, then four dimensions are sorry, kindly pardon me. Four dimensions are here, then it becomes two dimensions. Yeah, sorry, three dimensions. Sorry, then two dimensions, then one dimension, and then all are combined. Again, I will repeat. Kindly excuse me, students. Uh, there is four dimensions here: time, item, location, supplier. So in the lattice of cuboids, the you take three combinations of the dimensions. So you have three at the first level of the lattice. Then at the second level you have two items, and at the fourth level you have one item, and last you have the summarized level, okay, or the apex cuboid. Okay, so this is called as a lattice of cuboids. So this is what you need to know now. For creating a data warehouse, you need to know the different warehouse schemas. Okay, you need to know the different warehouse schemas. So here, the warehouse schemas, what we have is a star schema, which has a central dimensional table and all the other central fact table and all the other dimension tables are needed. Okay, in order to support the fact table. Then you have the snowflake schema, where some of the dimension tables are normalized. Okay, compared to the yeah, so some of the dimension tables are normalized. Then we have the fact constellation schema. In the fact constellation schema, more than one fact table is there. So we call it sometimes as a galaxy schema. So students, my humble request, kindly note down these definitions are very important. Kindly note it down. Okay, please kindly note it down right now. Yeah. I'll give you all around 3 minutes. These definitions are important. Please note it down and then we'll change the slide. When you all are finished, please drop a message, please. Have you all finished? Okay, another 2 minutes I'll give you all. Have you all finished students? So the next thing we have is an example of a star schema over here. So this is for the sales, a sales warehouse. So in the sales schema over here, we have the sales fact table. So the sales fact table consists of, it consists of four dimension tables here. We have the time dimension table, item dimension table, location dimension table, and branch dimension table. So four dimension tables are there: time, branch, item, and location. So each dimension table will describe what kind of sales are done with respect to the time, with respect to which item, the location from which the sales was done, for which branch. Okay, so here each dimension table, what will the fact table do? The fact table is connected to all the four dimension tables, and the fact table stores the primary key. Now time key, item key, location key, and branch key. It stores all the primary keys of the four dimension tables, and along with that it stores the amount of units sold, okay, the dollars sold, the average sales done. So this is basically the sales fact table will tell us how many units were sold, okay, which items were sold, okay, and the average sales, okay, as for the time, item, branch, and location. Okay, so this is an example of a star schema. A star schema, please note, has only a single fact table, and all dimension tables are connected to the fact table. Okay, all the dimension tables are connected to the fact table, and what do you say? This is an example of the star schema. So the key characteristics of a star schema is that the data is not normalized of the dimension tables, and secondly, they all have to be connected to the fact table. The primary keys are stored in the fact table. Okay. Can you please draw the diagram? All of you all, another 2 minutes I'll give you all. Please draw the diagram. Have you okay? I said 2 minutes, right? Yeah, you will take some time. Maybe after 2 minutes, please drop a message in the chat whether you have finished drawing the schema or no. Okay, please. The schemas are important. Please draw the schemas. By next week, I'll finish unit 2. Okay. By next week, I will finish unit 2 and I will go to unit 4. Okay. Have you all finished, students? Have you all finished? Okay, another 2 minutes. Okay, can I change the slide, students? Can I change the slide? Okay, another 2 more minutes. Have you all finished, students? Okay, I'm changing the slide. Lizanne, Rishikesh, Savita, have you all finished? The next we have is a snowflake schema. Now the table is the same, but only difference is here two tables are normalized, item and supplier. So supplier key is put over here, and it points to the original supply table. Okay, so here these tables are normalized. Item and supplier is normalized. Location and city is normalized. Okay, have you understood this? Have you understood? The only difference over here is some of the tables will be normalized. So you can see item and supply is normalized, and uh, location and city is normalized. Okay. So have you understood that this is an example of another data warehouse schema where the data is stored in the central fact table, but only difference over here is these two tables are normalized, item and supplier, and location and city. So kindly, what do you say, draw this diagram, and if any difficulties, kindly post in the chat. Another 2 minutes I'll give you. These are all important diagrams. Based on these diagrams, only questions will be asked. Like you'll be told to design such kind of schemas. So before that, we should have an idea of what these schemas are. So please note it down. Okay. When you have finished, drop a message in the chat. And please note item and supplier, these tables are normalized, okay? So supplier which were details were put here is now kept in a separate table. City details which were here is now kept in a separate table. Have you all finished, students? Have you all finished? Okay. The next kind of schema is called as a fact constellation schema. Over here, students, can you see how many fact tables are there? Tell me. How many fact tables are there? If your schema has more than one fact table, then we call it as a fact constellation schema or the galaxy schema. Is this part clear? Okay, so here there are two fact tables, the sales table and the shipping fact table. Okay, so here the dimension tables for sales. Okay, can you tell me from this diagram which are the dimension tables for the sales fact table? Which dimension tables are there for the sales fact table? Which dimension tables are there for the sales fact table? So, do you know the answer? Which dimension tables are there? We have time, item, branch, and location, which is the dimension tables for the, yes, time, item, branch, location. And for the shipping table, it is item, location, and shipper. Item, location, and shipper for the shipping fact table. Okay. So again, this is an example of a data warehouse schema, which it contains. Yeah, it contains more than one fact table. Okay, so please note this down, all of you all. Yeah. It will take some time, I assume. So I'll give you another 3-4 minutes. After that, I will change the slide. I won't be asking you. So now it is 4:39. At 4:43, I will change the slide. So please do draw the diagram. Please draw the fact constellation schema. Have you all finished? Have you all finished, students? When you all have finished, please drop a message in the chat box. Sorry, slide. Have you all finished? Kindly drop a message when you have finished, students, please. Have you all finished? Have you all finished? Okay, yeah, final. Okay. The next we have is a concept of concept hierarchy. So you can define the concept hierarchy for each dimension. So concept hierarchy is like a sequence of mapping from low level concepts to high level concepts. So we just consider the concept hierarchy for location. Okay, so it's what is location now? Look at this concept hierarchy. Okay, so it goes from each location, like the street, okay, the office or the street, to the city to which it belongs, and again it transits from city to country, country to region, region to all. So concept hierarchy basically allows you to retrieve the data at different levels using the concept hierarchy concept. Okay, then we have the multi-dimensional yeah, the next thing what we have is a multi-dimensional data. Have you taken this down? A multi-dimensional data is a cube representation of the warehouse. So as I said, the warehouse uses a multi-dimensional data cube. So this is a multi-dimensional data cube which stores the data in a cube format. So if you have three dimensions over here, month, product, and region, each region could be subdivided into many regions like country. Then you have each product could be subdivided into product. Okay, so this kind of things can be done. Okay, using OLAP concept. Okay, is this part clear? So now again, I will repeat this. What is a concept hierarchy? Okay, just for you all to understand. The concept hierarchy basically allows mapping from low level concepts to high level concepts. So we have low level concepts like the office name, then the city name. The city belongs to a country, the country belongs to a continent, the continent belongs to the whole world. So that's a concept hierarchy. Okay. Then the data can be represented in multi-dimensional format. Okay, so this is what is given over here, the three axes, month, region, product. Okay, then again, this can be the concept hierarchy in industry into category, category into product, region into country, country into city, city into street, year into quarter, quarter into month, and year into week, week into day. Okay, so this what is say the concept hierarchy. We are mapping from low level concept to a high level concept. Okay, so the next thing we have is a sample data cube. Again, it shows the product side. Okay, has been subdivided into types of product. The location side, this country has been what do you say? Yeah, the country has been split into three or four categories. Okay, types of countries, and similarly for the time. Okay, so here again, this is a set of cuboids which are there and shows how the concepts are represented. Okay, so next thing we have is the OLAP operations. So what are the OLAP operations? What we have? The common OLAP operations are slice, dice, okay, then pivot, okay, then drill across, drill down, roll up. Okay, these are the typical OLAP operations. So let's look at them. Rolling and drilling, okay, drilling up. This is basically climbing up the concept hierarchy. Then you have drilling down. This is moving down to the what do you say detailed hierarchy of the system. Then you have the slice and dice. You can slice the uh, either you can slice a data cube. Okay, you can also select a part of the data cube instead of taking all, which may confuse the user. And then we have pivot, which changes the visualization of the three-dimensional data. So other operations which can be possible is drill across and drill through. Okay, drill across and drill through. So drill across is drilling across more than one fact table, and drill through is till you reach the last value, the lowermost concept level. That is called as drill through. Okay, so just note this down, all of you. Please note down this, all of you. When you're finished, let me know. This is important. These are the typical OLAP operations. When you'll have finished. No, no. So when you're finished, let me know. Okay. Have you all finished? Have you all finished, students? Have you all finished? Okay. Friends, we will stop over here. Next time, I will. This is what we have taken the text, but I'll just look out if we have something more to show you some more diagrams in the same format. Okay. So we will do the OLAP operations for the next session, and with the next two lectures, we will finish. We will finish your what do you say? We'll finish the um, OLAP concepts, okay, and that your unit two will get over. And if I get offline, I might start in the offline session, association mining for offline sessions, okay. So I just explain this to you all. It's nothing much, okay, and I'll show you all this full cube maybe in the next session again. But I'll just explain this concept because there is a little time. So this is the data cube. We have products as home entertainment, computer, phone, and security. This is the sales done, okay, for Vancouver. Okay, so this 605. This is sales done for Vancouver. Then 825 is sales done for Vancouver for quarter one. 605 is for home entertainment. Quarter one sales done for Vancouver. 825 sales done for quarter one for computer. Okay, 395 is now. See this slice over here. Okay, now this 395 we take this slice out. Okay, only the slice containing 395. 399 is for the city Toronto for home entertainment. The amount of sales done for the first quarter. Okay, we cut it this way. So here, if we do the dice operation, it is based on two dimensions. Okay, that is location is equal to Toronto or Vancouver. See, I just tell you all. Okay, the dice. Okay, so project and select. So dice operation over here. Okay, it takes out two dimensions. Okay, dimensions the time dimensions quarter one, quarter two, or the what do you say the location component. So it will take dice for location and for the time, okay, and for the product. So it takes based on the location, the time, and the type of product. Okay. Then we have the slice operation, sorry, the pivot operation where you are inverting the view. So here the 605, 825. So we're just inverting the view. So we have the city over here and the what do you say? We have the types of components. So this is a rotated view for quarter one. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. One second. This is similar to. No, sorry, student. This is a. Yeah, just a minute. This is a slice. This is based on one dimension selection. Sorry, that's why I was telling. I'll show you a new diagram. This is a dice. This is a slice. Okay, sorry. This is also looks similar to the pivot operation. Slice is based on one quarter one. So what is done over here in quarter one? It is slice based on quarter one. So what is cut out from here? Please pay attention. This is important. From this part, this portion is cut out. I will explain this again. From this part, the first horizontally you're cutting off the slice. Okay, I'm just showing with the cursor. This portion is cut out. Okay, so that's the slice based on quarter one. Okay, then we have the roll up operation. Roll up operation means since you're showing them as cities, Toronto and Vancouver and Chicago, you roll them up to the countries to which they belong. Okay, so the sales now is not shown for Vancouver and Toronto separately, it will be shown for country wise for Canada and for US how much is the total sales done. Then the drill down is the reverse. Drill down breaks it from further, like instead of quarter one, we will have January, February, March, all the months. So it shows the sales done month wise. Okay, that is drill down. Then you have the pivot. This is what I was saying. It looks similar to the slice. Pivot is just a rotated view. Okay, so this was home entertainment. Just we rotate the view. Okay, we rotate the view. Okay, so I'll stop over here, students. This is all for today. Again, I will explain the OLAP operations, maybe with little animation. I'll just work on that. Okay, so I'll show you all the OLAP with a little animation if possible. Okay, hopefully it plays. Okay, yeah. Just answer your roll call. Leanne, Leanne, yeah. Wendell, Mehul, सनीश, जेसन, साइश, राहुल, लक्ष्मी, ऋषिकेश, लिजैन, श्रीशा, शीतल, माहित, सविता, विदिशा, प्रज्ञा, मोहित। Lizanne is not there. Lizanne is present. अक्षता, उज्जवल, दीपेश, सुमेधा, श्रेयस, शैविक, उज्जवल is absent. Deepesh, Deepesh is also absent. Merlin, Sania, Nattaraj, Parth, Gayatri, Sahil, Romano, Rahil, Pranav, okay, Vandal. Rahil, Pranav, kindly confirm if you're there, Pranav. Nikhil, Purvesh, Adarsh, Purvesh is absent. Manal, Mayuresh, Tirtha, Salil, Samish, Tanisha. Tirtha is not there. Yash, Sanket, Gunesh, Sheena. Yash, Sanket, Gunesh, Sheena. Yash, what happened suddenly when I called you? You woke up. Sanket, Sheena, Gunesh, Rinki, Anis, Sanat. Okay, Sanat is also absent. Anish Narvekar, Anish Keni, Anish Narvekar, Tushrut, Nikhil, Sohan, Aniksha, Ruchita, Sampada, Alison, Saifan, Sadhana, Riya, Atish, Shripad, Lionel, Videsh, Vaibhav, Ganadish. Ganadesh. Okay, students, you all may leave the meet. Let me leave the meet, students.